Yes, what a lovely opening tune there. Good afternoon, everybody. Wherever you are in the world, welcome. First of all, apologies for the slightly delayed start. We had a few technical issues here, but now we are raring to go. My name is Ikenna Azuike, and it is my pleasure to be your host for our event, The Search for Talent is On. Today, we're talking talent management with some Good Habits faces and our keynote speaker, New York Times best-selling author, Patty McCord. Now, today is certainly not one-way traffic, though. We would love you at home, wherever you are. You may be in the office, in the bath. I don't know how comfortable you like to get to watch these things, to be part of this event. So please use the chat function below the stream to share comments and ask questions, and we'll get to as many as we can. And also tell us where you are too, because this is obviously very international. It's nice to be able to say, hey, Melanie from Singapore, or not that anyone's necessarily in Singapore, but you know what I mean. Okay, got your tea, your biscuit? Let's get cracking then. My first guest is someone who has experienced the growth of Good Habits at close quarters. He was one of the very first staff members at Good Habits and has gone on to become a board member of the company. It is CMO Milan Hofmans. Welcome, Milan.
Thank you, Ikenna.
First of all, thank you for stepping in at the last minute because, of course, CEO of Good Habits, Martin Franken, was due to be here, but unfortunately had to pull out at the last minute for personal reasons. So you stepped in.
Yes.
You have been, like I said in the introduction, you were literally one of the first 10 or so employees. So you've seen the company grow from that to more than 300 employees now.
Yeah.
Perhaps we can start with you telling me a little bit about the culture. How would you describe the culture at Good Habits?
Yeah, very good. First of all, thank you for your introduction, Ikenna, and everybody who's watching, welcome. Good to see you attending with this many people. To answer your question, yes, in the beginning, when you're small, when you're a startup, you just go and you just go with the flow. And then we have a product, we wanted to change the L&D landscape. We wanted to change the way people look at learning. We want to add positivity, we wanted to add fun, we wanted to add, to change that mindset, the traditional mindset. In order to do that, you need positive people. You need people who are able to, to share that vibe and to tell that story. So from the beginning, we had that small group of people.
So you say positivity is one of the key aspects of culture at Good Habits.
Key.
If I asked you to use a couple of other words, what would you add? What would you say?
Inspiring.
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing. We want to inspire, our customers. We want to inspire people who want to learn, who want to learn. But of course, also internally, it's very important that you inspire your colleagues and that they know where they do it for, that they understand and they follow, the vision.
So people have to have the capacity to, inspire others and bring people along the journey.
Definitely.
Okay.
Ambitious, ambition is a big thing. We're a young company with a lot of young people, and we have big plans. Yeah. People who are joining Good Habits.
Even bigger than already, because you're in like 15 countries now.
Yeah.
More than 300 employees. Where is this going to end up?
Yeah, we're just getting started, Ikenna. That's really what we believe in. We're going to open up Brazil very soon, and we're going to be present across the globe. So that culture, to maintain what we have, that is of course getting more challenging, but I think we do a good job.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Like how, I feel like when you grow so fast, the first casualty of fast growth could end up being, losing or diluting of the culture, that positivity. Are there things that you can put in place to ensure that it continues to stay there and maybe even evolve?
Yes, you can, and in my experience, it's a little bit of an open door, of course, and we're talking about it, but it's definitely people, making sure that you hire the right people, making sure that they fit your culture, that they fit your values, and if they don't, also don't be afraid to not hire them, because they built your culture. And
But that also means, we'll get on to Patty.
Yes, of course.
Patty later, but it also means, of course, maybe saying goodbye to people who don't fit.
Yeah.
Because we talked earlier about the onboarding that Good Habits does, but that's done after people are hired.
Yeah. True. So, of course, when you hire someone, that one is getting an onboarding program made by us, all about, and at first maintaining this culture. So it's not about too much in-depth things about the company. It's about who we are as a company, what we want to achieve, and how you can be part of that, family. This group of people that has this positive mindset. So yeah.
On a personal level, how would you say you've developed?
From the culture perspective, or just as a person?
Yeah, well, we can sit back and talk philosophically.
Yeah, definitely.
No, from a culture, how has Good Habits changed you in any way? Has it made you even more positive, or
definitely,
less?
Definitely. It was, and especially because I'm very proud of what we are doing, and I strongly believe in what we do, and that's the bigger we get, the more impact it has also on me personally, because I see, hey, this is not a vision or a dream that's only for this small group of people who started the company. No, it's everybody understands us, and it's going across the globe, and that makes me proud, and it of course makes me develop in how to deal with that, how to deal with people coming in, how to deal with preserving this culture and everything that's around it.
Because I could also imagine some people might prefer, for instance, a smaller team, and so Good Habits might evolve to such a point where they say, you know what, it's not the company I joined, it's time for me to move on.
Yeah, definitely. And you see, of course, you see that happen. You see people, okay, this is not for me because it's going too fast. Things are changing too fast.
What would be a reason for you to make that call? Take that step, for instance.
When I see that an individual is not in his strength anymore, you see if energy is getting negative, if someone is not coming to work with this positive mindset we talked about, you see that, and it drains the energy of the individual, but also of the team and the company. So that's time to have a conversation, and most of the times, it's perfectly fine because that individual gets it, of course.
Yeah. I meant also on a personal level, though. So what would have to change in the culture for you, Milan Hofmans, to say, you know what, I think I'm going to have to move on?
Ooh, yeah.
You can't, I'm sorry, I've just blown your mind. You can't imagine leaving the Good Habits team.
I cannot imagine. Then there has to change a lot of things. And I cannot give the right answer to that out of my mind right now. I think, I don't know, there can happen so many things when we grow as big as we are growing.
Yeah.
Maybe there will come a time I think, hey, this is not for me. I cannot imagine, but...
Okay, so it's Milan Hofmans all the way with Good Habits, still at world domination.
I like that.
Okay, listen, thank you very much, Milan. It's been great talking to you, and once again, thanks for stepping in.
Thank you.
I am now going to move on to the next segment. I'm going to find my spot here. We're going to talk about, take a dive into the facts and figures. Let me grab this over here. One of the many pearls from Patty's book is that the company decisions are better off being data-informed rather than being data-led, because time and again we've seen that projects fail even with lots of supporting data. That said, data can be extremely helpful. So now it's time to dive into some. Good Habits has, together with research agency Market Effect, researched the current state of talent management in Europe. They asked over 13,000 European employees about the current personal development opportunities within their organization, and I'm going to talk about some of the results with Good Habits' country director for Europe, Roel. Good grief, Roel. I nearly forgot your second name. I know. Can you imagine that? Roel Koppens. Okay, Roel, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, great to be here and great to hear Milan's vision just right now. Yeah, good to hear.
You're the same? Nothing's going to change? You see yourself
absolutely.
Good Habits
I'm
in
now
the grave?
Having 4 years in the company,
yeah.
Having seen part of this journey, and it's yeah, it's flabbergasting. So looking forward to conquering the world and to continue growing.
Okay, good. Well, let's start a bit closer to home.
Yep.
Let's start with Europe. One of the first results that surprised me the most was that 58% of the European workforce who were in the research said that the lack of personal development opportunities are reason enough for them to seek a new employer. Yeah, and we've got the top 3, I believe, over there. I guess this means that lots of companies just know that they have to invest in personal development and are doing so.
Well, you might think that, right? So the reality is that not that many organizations invest in personal development. They might have, it's true that they could have an LMS that their employees have access to, but often what we see is that they're not encouraging actively the usage of that platform and of personal growth. On the other hand, what we hear, a common answer from our customers is that employees that have the opportunity often don't know. So it's crazy because that means that a lot of organizations, they are paying for LMS, for L&D plans, but without a proper usage.
Wow, so how is this where Good Habits has the added value? Not that this is just promotion for Good Habits, but a branded learning experience is more likely to get people more engaged? Is that it?
I mean, it's two things, we believe. On one hand, the inspiring, engaging content.
Yeah.
I mean, people are really demanding, so the content should be top level, but at the same time, we have a strong commitment with our customers to build learning culture. And building learning culture, promoting self-development, personal growth, means that you need a systematic approach.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we do.
Yeah. So it's not as easy. It sounds like it's not as easy just to buy a program, plug it in, send an email to everyone, and say, "Okay, there you go. There's your learning program." There needs to be more than it needs to really be ingrained in culture.
Indeed. I mean, it actually starts. When you have the right platform, the right content, it starts then. So what we do is set objectives, work together, integrate really well within the HR cycle of a company, apply internal communication, and promote the learning.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to another surprising research result. Almost 1 in 5 employees feel that their current personal development opportunities are not sufficient enough. So previously we talked about people who are prepared to leave. These people are not prepared to leave, but they're dissatisfied with how much is on offer to them. Couldn't an alternative maybe just be paying people higher salaries, giving them bonuses, maybe looking at the financial aspect of things? How important is personal development, really?
I mean, this is an interesting one, right? Despite the fact that it's not sustainable, right, to do this. And it's often being used as a quick fix. Of course, employees appreciate the increase of salary, but they also understand that this is normally linked to good performance. And they also understand that personal development, learning and development, leads to that. No,
Yeah.
so they would, in the end, you would get there to that salary increase. Another aspect is the personal side. I mean, it will bring you much more than the salary increase. It will, reducing your stress makes you a better person at home and at the office.
Yeah.
Or being better at time management, you would enable to reach your deadlines.
Yeah.
So investing in personal development makes a lot of sense, drives happiness, performance, and also they will, in the end of the day, they will be grateful to you as an employer that they had this opportunity. I mean, it's clear.
And of course, the impact on the business, I guess. Maybe you can elaborate on that, the relationship between personal development, employees being happy, and business growth.
Yeah, I mean, this is often being questioned by our customers, right? And we all want a return of investment. I mean, it must make sense. And there's a clear relation. I mean, I personally prefer to look at it from 2 perspectives, internal versus external. So internally, happy employees stay longer, so you would reduce the employee turnover, rotation. It would also have a positive impact on your working climate and on the employer branding, which will also help you with the talent acquisition, also a hot topic nowadays. From the external point of view, you will be able to influence the stakeholder management. An example of that, it's complex
Yeah,
term.
you
I
say
mean.
stakeholder
Yeah,
management and something. What does that mean?
No, it means, look, for example, at retailers or the hospitality industry, the service industry.
Yeah.
Happy employees with the right soft skills, will lead to happier customers, returning customers, and those will drive exponential growth.
Okay,
So
and when you say soft skills, you mean things like time management,
communication,
well-being,
feedback, productivity, and so on. Yeah.
Okay, so investing in personal development means happy employees, then, basically.
Right. Yes, it's a must-have for any organization.
Okay, so for viewers at home, according to the research, over half of employees, all European employees, indicate that they are happy with their current personal development opportunities, which sounds positive, of course, but what about the remaining 47%, including the 16% who are dissatisfied? So do organizations perhaps need to think more about the type of learning format they're offering their staff? Well, the survey asked people, what is your preferred learning format? And these were the results, which you can see on your screen. Anything surprise you there? Anything surprise you there? Or is that pretty much what you expect?
It's pretty much in line with what we see out there, no?
Yeah.
The online learning is there,
Yeah.
but we also like to have the experience in a live classroom or in a workshop.
But what about the blended learning formats? What exactly are those? Because is Good Habits missing out on that? Because you guys are just focused online, right?
Well, you would think that, right? No. Blended is crucial, I think, for the optimal learning experience of effectiveness. We should always blend or mix different types of learning activities or experiences. And in Good Habits, we take that serious. Yes, indeed. We have our platform, we have our online courses, but every single course is designed to be used online and offline. So that means that you can apply it immediately, you can put it in practice. And plus on the other side, you will be able to develop your organization on 3 different levels, individually, of course, through the course, but also on a team level and on an organizational level. And there, an example of that learning format is our workout.
Yeah, exactly. Because that relates to the team.
To the blended.
So maybe you can just elaborate on that. What is a workout for anyone who doesn't know? Yeah,
the workout as a learning format, it's more like a workshop. So you would do this with your team. You would set goals, you would share experiences, you would apply role-playing, the knowledge of the course. So that's, it's a very effective way because we learn on one side through an online course, but we learn even better when we share it and when we apply it and when we discuss it.
Yeah.
And the workout is a format that is linked to every single Good Habits course. So we will be training the team leads on how to master this workout with their own teams.
Yeah.
So we have a trainer-trainer effect.
Wow, everyone's getting trained, everyone's developing. Okay, let's go to another bit of research. Your research shows that accessibility to personal development is already an important factor when applying for a new job. More than 66% of people, on average, said that. The question was, suppose you were planning on finding a new job, to what extent would the following aspects influence your choice for an employer? And we can see the results there. Personal development comes in at 12th place, in fact, but that's still pretty high. We've talked a little bit already about the relationship between personal development and the growth of your business. But 12th place, is that high enough? Would you have thought, okay, maybe personal development would be even higher than that?
It could be higher, but it's clear that we work to make a living. We like to have pleasant people around us. Yeah. And learning is very much related to these topics, right? So it will help us to make more money. It will help us to be a nicer coworker. Yeah. And to perform better in general. It's there. Yeah.
And briefly, just to give us a glimpse into the future of personal development, just very briefly, because we need to move on.
That's fascinating, right? Yeah. So the need for personal development will continue to rise, for sure. Yeah. On the other side, the accessibility, like you mentioned earlier, employees would like to learn anywhere, at any time, learning on the go. Yeah. And I think one interesting aspect is the technological side of it. For example, the artificial intelligence that will impact on the way we learn. Yeah. So,
So we're going to end up talking to robots, learning from robots?
well,
No,
actually,
no.
I can give you a brief spoiler, right? Currently, we are developing the conversational learning with robots, implementing or integrating that into our courses.
Yeah.
So that will change radically the experience. But where we are going at the end of the day is that employees desire a more tailored and personalized way of learning, matching their needs. So that's the future.
That's the future. Okay. Well, let's stay in the present. But thank you very much, Roel.
Thank you. Okay.
And you're joining me later, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, good. Right. Looking at the facts and figures is, of course, is one thing. Okay. But how do you apply this in practice? How do you combine data with your own intuition and gut feeling? How do you make it human? Even though Roel over there wants to learn from robots. But anyway, artificial intelligence is just inevitable, guys. Listen, it's time for us to see how this works in real life and what the right talent management strategy can bring to your organization. Our speaker is known for challenging established conventions of corporate HR, and she claims that when it comes to recruiting, a lot of people are just doing it wrong. Most companies have it all wrong. She helped create the unique and high-performing culture at Netflix, developing the culture deck they're famous for today, as well as finding the time to write her own book on the topic. Welcome, Patty McCord.
Hi there, Kenneth.
Hey, Patty, good to see you.
Listen, I would talk to a robot if they were wearing your outfit.
Oh, let's dress robots in this outfit. I love the idea. Thank you very much. And Patty, first and foremost, I realized that you were going to join us here in person, but it has to be digital because someone in your family is unwell. So we wish you all the very best from the Good Habits team here. For me personally, thank you for finding the time to join us anyway. And I'm looking forward to your keynote shortly.
Okay. Shall we do it?
Yes, we will.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I'm really excited to be talking to all of Europe at once. It's just great. Well, I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to kind of set for you my thinking about work and about culture and about what you can do to be successful in your company. And if you're a leader, what you can do to create successful teams. So I first want to start with teams. I know Milan said the word family, and I know that it feels like a family sometimes because you're at work all the time, but it's not. You come together with other people to create a successful team that wins. And that's really what it's all about. Just think about it. The things that you do at work, you don't get to do anywhere else in your life, right? It's the ability to create something together with other smart people so that you can satisfy your customers or your constituents or whoever it is that you're serving as part of your company. And when you think about it like that and you think, okay, I'm a team member and what my job is to win, that's where personal development comes in really importantly, because what you want to do is you want to be the best player that you can. Since I've left Netflix, it's been 10 years now, I've gotten to be on stage with all kinds of amazing people. But the most amazing people I've been talking to lately are professional sports coaches. And what I love about them is their message is really clear. Here's how you win. Whatever sport you're playing, it has rules, it has objectives, it has particular skills, it has competition, it has other people that are trying to do the same thing. And it also has this idea that you may not be on the same team forever, and that what you want to do is you want to be part of a great team that's a great team to be from. Okay, I know that's a little scary because I'm talking about possibly leaving, but the honest truth is most of us leave our organizations at one point or the other. That's what careers are about. So careers are journeys. And so what you want to do when you're on your journey is create as much knowledge as you can, walk away from every situation having learned something amazing and having new skills that you can bring to whatever next team you go on. And that next team might be in your current company, don't get me wrong, but nothing is ever static. You're never in the same job forever. So the team part is really, really important, because when you work with amazing teams, you want your other team members to be as skilled and successful as you are. And so in order to do that, what you want to think about is, what's the right talent for your team and your company, and where you're going and how you win. So I'm going to teach you a thing that I teach mostly managers, but you can do it for yourself. Imagine that the team that you're on is unbelievably successful in, say, 6 months, right? Give yourself a time frame, put time around it. In 6 months, if your team was unbelievable, people were amazed at what you're accomplishing, what would be occurring then that's not occurring now? Okay. Would it be that you'd be better communicators? Would it be that you might have specific skills that you don't have on the team right now? Would it be that you're working better cross-functionally? Would it be that you're better and honest with each other so that you can work faster and smarter because you're better team members, right? What is that thing that's occurring in 6 months that's not occurring now? Okay, got that in your head? Then I say make a movie of it, mostly because I hung around people that made movies all the time. But what does it look like? Are there more Zoom meetings? Are there less Zoom meetings? Are you together in person occasionally? What does it look like? Then you drop down and say, well, what kind of skills and experience would it take in order for our team to accomplish that in 6 months? Then you say, what would it take to be able to do that? What do those hard skills look like? And then you say, who's on the team already? And what those gaps are is who you hire, right? That's who you want to put on the team, somebody that doesn't know what you already know. And one of the things that I find that people do that I think is a really foolish thing is they say, we've got more work to do. We need more people. Let's hire 5 more engineers. Let's hire 6 more marketing people. Let's hire, and we even call it head count, right? And what we want to do is we want to hire for those deltas. We want to hire people that don't know what we already know. We want to hire people that are going to help us do that. And when you do that, then you're really open to hiring all kinds of different people. Because what most people do is most hiring managers say, I want to hire somebody who's smart, makes good decisions, quick on their feet, able to accomplish things amazingly fast. Someone just like me. And then like hires like, and we wonder why we can't get anything new done. And so when you think about that, that gives you who to hire. It also gives you the ability to be really honest with your team, and for team members to say, well, there's a couple of things that we're going to need to know how to do that I don't know. Right? And so now we can have these honest conversations with each other that says, wow, how are we going to get the right amount of knowledge in order to accomplish this, in order to win in this time frame, right? So that part, that talent part, is what's really important, because talented teams win. And that creates the happiness that we've talked about. I'm really not that much of a fan of like happiness equals productivity, because all of us, if you think about the stuff that you did that you're really proud of in your work life, a lot of it was really hard. But the happiness comes from accomplishing that, right? So when you're with other people who are incredibly talented, it's that pride in just accomplishing amazing things. The other thing I want to talk about that we've all been through in the last couple of years is this feeling of transformation. And when I used to talk, on stage, if I would be there in person and you had an audience full of people, afterwards someone would come up and say, oh, I really love what you're doing. You make so much sense. We'd love to do what you talk about, but we can't because we're regulated. We can't because we're in Europe. We can't because we're not a movie company. We can't, right? We can't possibly work remotely. And in 48 hours, we did, right? We all transformed the way we work in the last 2 years, whether we liked it or not. And you know what? It turned out that we learned a ton from it. And the most important thing we learned was that we can change like that. All of us can. We always could. We always had that muscle. So what I want us to do when we talk about what happens next, what happens in the future, where we go, it's about knowing that we can change and we will change, and that what we need to do to be successful in the future is very different than what it took before. And we should never go back. The other thing is there's no best practices anymore. People always ask me which companies are doing, remote working really well. And the answer is nobody. We're all making it up, right? And we're also learning that online learning, that using our computers to communicate, our computers to learn, is a pretty easy thing. It doesn't always have to be together. But when we're together, we should make that time really, really effective. So think about how you're going to transform your organization, how you're going to keep the things that are really important to you, regardless of how or where you're working, and know that change is constant. If I had my fantasy company, I would walk in the door and say, all bets are off, everything's different. And everybody would stand up and go, yay! A new opportunity, a new way to learn. Yay! So from what we've been doing the last couple of years is to stop and think, wow, what kind of skills did we need that we didn't think we needed? What kind of ways of measuring performance that we used to use really didn't matter, right? We're able to trust people to do great work because we ask them to, and they do. They always have. So now, how do we go into the future? How do we think about what we need to do? How do we constantly learn and change and grow?